Hello guys and welcome to this video. Now I'm delighted to present to you today my favorite Pepsi GMT mod on the Seiko SSK001. So I was super excited a few months back when, or about a month ago, no, a couple months now, when DLW Watches released this Pepsi bezel. The reason I was excited was because it was the first 24-hour Pepsi bezel in ceramic that's the right colors. If you've ever tried to buy a Pepsi bezel in ceramic for a Seiko mod before, and until a couple months back, if you've bought it from any other place, almost anywhere, it's gonna be slightly orange, slightly pink, something wrong with the red, basically. DLW, which is one of my favorite watch part suppliers in Singapore, have also supplied a crystal here. They make some of the best quality bezel inserts, and I'm really happy they finally nailed this red and blue color properly. So it does have that Rolex style colorway where the red is slightly muted, it's not super bright. The blue is the right kind of shade of blue as well. Now, I'm no expert in the original GMT Master. Some of you guys can tell me which sort of reference this is most similar to, because I know they change, and I think they make the red even deeper more recently. But anyway, it's a lovely colorway, and as soon as that part came out, I fitted it to a Seiko SSK001. You'll see that example here. Now that's a simple mod that goes a long way, and I've actually did a full step-by-step tutorial on how to do that. This one, however, I wanted to go all out, basically get every part exactly as I would want to replicate the Rolex SSK, the Rolex Pepsi GMT in Seiko mod form. So you can see here we have gone for a sub-style case. We've even got an S-signed crown, and this crown is screwed down as well. So I'll show you the operation quickly. Pops out. We can wind the watch in the first position. This is Seiko's 4R34 movement. This is actually out of the base watch as well. And then if you pull the crown to the first position, if you rotate it clockwise, we can quick set the GMT hand, and the anti-clockwise changes the date as well. And then fully out, you can set your time. Pop it back in. And the standard watch does not have a screw down crown, so this actually ups the water resistance to 200 meters as well. All the parts here are rated to 200. So we've got a screw down crown, we've got a sub style case. The case is now 41 millimeters. It wears pretty much the same as Seiko's SSK, this standard model, except the crown's at 3, which does make it wear a little bit bigger. It's also a little bit thicker, only really due to the double dome sapphire we've got. It is possible to do a similar mod with a flat sapphire, which is what I did before on the standard case. These cases do tend to be fairly thick. This one is, there is a slim line version, but all that really does is cuts off the corner here to make it visually slimmer. All Seiko mods tend to be a bit thicker due to the movement and the glass. Hands and Merc hands, these are from Watch and Style. In fact, a lot of these case parts I'll talk about now are from Watch and Style. We've got a 24-hour engraved chapter ring. You should be able to see that through there. Great Seiko loom. Here's a loom shot. The hands match up perfectly. I've kept the GMT hand, the standard Seiko GMT hand as well. I know it's not quite like the Rolex one, but I thought it just, you know, we don't want to copy Rolex one for one here. We're trying to make a Seiko homage to Rolex sort of thing. This one maybe takes it almost too far, because I've tried to, you know, we've got the same kind of bezel, we've got the same kind of hands, we've got the same kind of case, but you get my drift. I don't want to, we know it's not going to be a GMT Master, so we can make some compromises. So the GMT hand standard, it doesn't have a Cyclops. I know some of you watching this thinking, oh, I'd love that watch if it had a Cyclops. It's not possible to do, basically. I'm yet to find a supplier for these size crystals with the Cyclops that will accept a sloping insert. You can do it with a flat insert, but this GMT Pepsi bezel does not come flat. It's only sloping, so you're kind of stuck. You have to use either a double dome or a thicker flat topped crystal. Either way, we can't have the Cyclops. But to be honest, if you really look into it, this date is not that small. The original SSK, which does have a Cyclops doesn't actually do anything, it's just there for aesthetics. It doesn't magnify the date very much at all. If you compare that to an actual Rolex, the date on the dial is very small. Therefore, the Cyclops does a job. Kind of makes more sense that way. Anyway, I know some of you are probably going to think about the Cyclops here, but yeah, that's one other compromise we've got to make for now. The bracelet, that's new. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. This is Watch and Style's Jubilee bracelet, but there is one slight difference here, which I know is going to please a lot of you. Inside, like I said, NH34 movement. It is the Seiko branded. This is straight from the original SSK I bought, imported, and then turned into this. We've also got female end links here. This was the sort of trick with this bracelet. The original Jubilees I've used for quite a few years, always had these two like teeth at the front. Now it's got a kind of additional pair of links there. This just helps the watch sit on a smaller wrist, so these actually can jut down, and they can fit an even smaller wrist now quite comfortably. So I know, and Rolex does them this way as well, so which is why I kind of picked it for this build. But nice solid bracelet, all solid links. We've got screws for the links and a milled clasp. The keeper or the sort of flip lock part are all pressed, but for the money, this bracelet is fantastic. That is from Watch and Style. So basically, two suppliers here: DLW for the glass and the bezel insert, Watch and Style for everything else, and then Seiko for the dial, the movement, and the GMT hand. What do you think, guys? I love this watch. I think I just love the Pepsi color. Thank you, DLW, for bringing out this bezel. They didn't sponsor me in this video. Maybe I'm the only one that loves this part so much, but couldn't wait to share it with you. Here's a few little videos of the build steps. So like I said, we had an original dial and movement, fit the hands. We put the case together. I usually do it that way around. I usually do the dial and hands first, then the case with the chapter ring, the sapphire, put the movement and hands inside, add the bezel, add the bezel insert, which is the best part, and then of course screw everything together, make sure everything is nice and clean, straight, and ready to go. So there you go, guys. What do you think of the SSK001 GMT? 41 millimeters, as I said. The case is actually smaller than 41. The case is actually 40, but I always call it 41 because the bezel size is slightly overlaps here on the left. It's most obvious. That's a 41 size bezel. So it's similar size to the actual Rolex Pepsi, the modern version, except this one will definitely be thicker. We can't do much about that at the moment due to Seiko's case sizes. I'll get this one on the wrist for you, and we'll close out the video there. So there she is on my 7 3/4 inch wrist. I did have to size this bracelet down already, so it's not going to close, but you can get the sort of feel. It is a thicker watch, there's no denying that, but it's a sporty watch and it will fit wrists as big as mine, and definitely as small as around 6.5 inches, I'd say, as a smallest. They always look a little bigger on the video than they do in person, but yeah, slightly on the small side for me, I would say, just because of my style of watches, but the majority of my clients are always happy with the sizes, and most people have a more sort of smaller wrist than I do. Now, looking at one last little feature, which I didn't show you, was the bezel action. The standard SSK has a smooth bezel action. This one clicks. So we get the 120 click of the dive watch on the GMT. I did have a go at actually making that bi-directional. However, You end up having just 60 clicks then. It doesn't really line up for GMT. I could remove the click spring and just make it smooth, but I really like having the clicks. It's just a thing that you sometimes play with. They're really satisfying clicks, and of course we've got it lined up spot on at the top. Let me know what you think, guys. This one is available on my store. That's svkwatches.ae. Follow me on Instagram. Recently hit 10,000 subscribers or followers there, sorry. Really excited about that. Stay tuned, have a good holiday season, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.